dozens in the dusk, throw it all away. You see a light wherever you go. You have to face it again and again.
This is a ROM hack of well, this is Super Metroid Phase On. This is obviously a ROM hack of Super Metroid. Um, Deciding to do a playthrough on this game 'cause it's like arguably the best ROM hack that out there that you can probably find for Super Metroid, but a couple of others like Redesign or Hyper Metroid that really changed the game this much. Gonna be doing a playthrough on this, so um, as I just, I'm I've I'm doing a Kyle Kin, if you know what I'm um, if you will. I haven't had any sleep since 9:08 p.m. It's 3:45 p.m. What I mean, Kyle Kin for like times one and is like an hour longer than like if you sleep for about 10 hours, and are up for 9, 10 hours ish, you're probably up for 14 because there's 24 hours in a day. Um, Staying up longer than that time, that's what I mean by a Kyle Kin. Up for one more, yeah, no. So this is Dark Samus that we're playing. This is pretty much what Super Metroid. This is pretty much Dark Samus' Super Metroid, if you will. Um, I'm pretty sure you're playing as Dark Samus. Yeah. You go into the menu, I believe it says Dark Samus, but um, a lot of the stuff that Dark Samus uses or whatever is a lot of stuff we've seen in several Metroid games from Samus that Samus uses. Um, there's a couple of new things though that aren't in those games. Very few though. I mean, it's if they change the thing where they in like the selection menu of items and stuff where you turn stuff on and off to like Samus instead, that would make it even more crazier. Yeah, this takes place after Fusion, and Samus goes rogue and destroys the Federate. Yeah, no, that's pretty much what this game does. Completely annihilates it. Yeah, no. Um, But no, you're Dark Samus. Which is Metroid Prime, if you played the Prime series, and Metroid Prime is a Metroid. A certain type of Metroid, um, but we'll probably get on to more about that in Prime. My playthrough of Prime, since we are doing one. Um, they use a lot of the same bosses. This ROM does that Super Metroid had. Just a bunch of palette swaps. This game is harder than the regular game. Um, I made a hack recently or whatever. It was I, it's not that big of a deal though. I mean, I don't plan on sharing. It's I was only doing it just to practice a little bit with Super Metroid so I can prepare for a run. So I could prepare for a run that I was planning on making at some point, and I've finished it already, but I already made the video. I need to do the commentary though. But I don't think you're gonna be seeing that for some time. But I don't know. I might decide to upload it on in between parts for Prime. I don't know. Since it's just one part, one whole part. But since it's a horde mode, it's pretty much how Metroid Prime scaled. You know, that's how high I scaled the enemy damages, and yeah. It definitely helped for me to get back into the game. I suppose, but they do a couple of things here. Like the normal missiles are super missiles now. Um, they're a lot faster than the missiles and super missiles and Super Metroid are, but they feel a lot more like super missiles from Fusion. See, this would probably work out if they made this like event take place after Fusion, but which I don't know if that's ever going to happen at this point or whatever. I mean, it did take them a while to come out with another Star Fox, but so I'm not saying it won't. But Metroid 4, the last time they made a Metroid, Metroid 5, it's been since Fusion came out in around 2000 somewhere. It was around this or 2002. It was around the same time that Prime came out. I'm pretty sure, or slightly before it. I don't remember exactly, but and then right after that, they made a remake of Zero Mission, and they've been doing that kind of, I guess. Um, well, they made a remake of Zero Mission, and then all the other crap happened with Other M and Federation Force and after Prime 3. And they finally decided to make Samus Returns. When Prime 4 would come out, I don't know. The Prime series the is what probably, other than remakes, is what Nintendo seems to want to focus now on, or whatever, rather than continuing on with the um, and making a Metroid 5. Fusion was Metroid 4, but a lot of things that you would typically see this Samus use a lot of the stuff that Dark Samus uses in this game. Um, because Dark Samus is basically using her stuff, and she nearly mimics her. Um, there are a couple of new items, though, that aren't in the normal series. Actually, I'd probably place this an even higher level than based on how many hits some of these enemies take. A certain beam weaponry or whatever than what quote unquote hard mode would probably be if you increase the difficulty of Super Metroid, like that of how Prime is increased from normal mode to hard mode. Which I've done. Took me a couple of days to do or whatever, but it's about 1.54 times the, the damage you take from in hard mode than it is in normal mode. So, and obviously everything that Samus does, except for power bombs, the screw attack and stuff, you know, everything's halved. Except for power bombs and bombs and stuff, it seems like. So I didn't touch those. That's actually how it is, but something I didn't exactly notice. Or whatever, that there wasn't a difference in damage or whatever from normal mode to hard mode and Prime with bombs. Power bombs just one shot about everything, so it's like, nah. In Prime, but yeah, these reskins or whatever, You don't see him until Ridley's hideout near the end of the game. Yet you fight them so early on here. I'm 15 minutes in, and I'm already fighting them. Um, I think normally I use save states. I didn't use any here. I should probably be using them considering use them in place of save rooms. They're just a lot more convenient anyways. We passed by a couple or whatever, on our way over here, but anyways, as you're about to see here, I get my hand into me. Should not have just walked into him like that, but I did. So I went ahead and cut back to a point whenever I got back over here. I left the save state that time, but this time it didn't go as badly as before. There are ROM hacks out there that are harder of this game or whatever. Super Metroid Impossible is much harder in this. And it's all it is just they don't change the game as much as this game or whatever, but they do change some stuff around in a lot of rooms to make it feel almost impossible. Um, even for speedrunners. But yeah, as you can see right here, well, as you're going to see, I come down here and there's a missile door. There's a super missile door here, which is red apparently. I don't know. And I don't have any super missiles. I wasn't paying attention at all. So I went back out here, killed one of those dudes, got a couple. Energy tank is going to be handy. Especially what's coming up next. Well, near the end of the video, I should say. If you overblast those guys like I just did, it just goes through them in one shot. Overblasts aren't nearly as powerful as they are in other M's. Missiles are stronger. I think I remember the damage values for that right. The charge beam is weaker than both missiles and the overblast. But it is still weak. There's a lot of enemies. I know for a fact it's still weak. There's a lot of enemies it doesn't work on. The screw attack is just much better, than Super Metroid. Or Zero Mission for that matter. And Infusion too as well. Uh, Other M probably received very mixed reviews. I don't know. Federation Force, nobody probably liked it. Everybody, um, the like to dislike ratio was crazy whenever they first announced it and stuff. For the anniversary of the 2015th anniversary of Metroid, like, come on. In every single Metroid game, you're playing as Samus. You know, and in this game, for some weird reason, it's pretty much the only game that really does this. You're playing as Federation troopers. The game is more designed to have multiple people playing it, and it feels more like a Halo Call of Duty-esque game or whatever, rather than um, what most Metroid games feel like. It completely breaks the formula. Even Other M kind of is stuck to that more, but Red Phazon. Red Phazon only ever shows up in Metroid Prime. It might actually be stronger than Blue Phazon. I'm not sure, or it might be just about as strong. It's just a different. It has different properties, and it's more rare. A lot more rare to find. Yeah, this suit never shows up in any game. It pretty much acts as the various suit in a way, essentially. Even though I'm pretty sure there's no heated areas, anyways. Well, actually, there are very few, but very very few, but sure we had to go this way and where they get back out of this area. This is a reskin of Fantoon. He actually feels easier here to me. I don't know than what he does in Super Metroid. Not saying it won't be difficult though. I mean, you do only have four energy tanks. You have the equivalent of the Various suit, and you have a lot fewer missiles than you probably would by the time you even get to the dude in Super Metroid. So, but he does feel easier in another way. I guess it's just the room. I don't know that you fight him in, or the fight design. Just the 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 stuff they made to edit him. That could be it too, or both. I'm not sure. Um, that's the Spazer beam we just got. It is a lot faster in this game. It's pretty much the best beam in this game, to be honest. Phazon particles, I'm not exactly sure what they do yet, but they seem to increase health, and so I don't know.
Darkness that dozes in the dusk, throw it all away. No one can break you, nobody can tear you. You live an endless life forever. Oh, dark the darkness You see a light wherever you go.